What's up, guys? It's your boy JT back again with a new episode of Overtime. Here we are again. It's the next week. I am so excited to jump in today's episode. We got a lot to go over. A lot has happened over the past couple of days. This weekend was phenomenal for football. We got some NBA news as well. It's a great episode today. Episode 3 is wilding. So today we are going through the week 1 recap. So let's get right into it, guys. We're going to start off with the Lions and the Chiefs. Now, when I did my week 1 predictions a couple weeks ago, I really did have the Chiefs winning this game, but the Lions came out on top. What I did see in that game is that the Chiefs receiving core wasn't it. They wasn't catching the balls that they needed to catch from Patrick Mahomes. Not at all his fault. I don't think I saw any flaw in his game. He did what he had to do, but you can't count on Patrick Mahomes to do everything for you. We need to figure it out, especially if we're not going to have Travis Kelce, because think about it like this. He is getting older. The defense played phenomenal. Jared Goff played a really great game. He was doing his thing out there. I like what I saw out of Gibbs as well. I wish they would have utilized him a little bit more out the backfield. I think they're going to start doing that to get that run game going, take some pressure off of Goff. But he didn't really look that pressured. He looked very confident in the pocket. I think the Lions are going to do some really big things this year, and people need to watch out for them. Going on to the Bengals and the Browns, I had the Bengals winning this. I really did. I really thought Joe Burrow got this big contract about to come out big balling. He about to come out here doing amazing things. He did it. Deshaun Watson looked like he's the MVP kind of caliber quarterback. The defense really spanked the Bengals offense. That offensive line, like I suspected, was going to be very spotty, and Joe Burrow just didn't look comfortable at all in that game. So yeah, I had the Bengals winning that one, but the Browns ends up taking it. Now the game I was right about, Ravens and Texans. Great showing that we got out of I believe CJ Stroud. I think a great showing for him, but not a lot to where it was a little underwhelming to see that it was a little underwhelming. I figured the Ravens was going to take this game with ease. They did lose their running back Dobbins, They did lose him for the year with the Achilles tendon torn, so that's going to be a very I think Justice Hill is going to really have to step up. With that being said, they had a really great showing with the receiving core. So as long as we stay healthy, the Ravens are going to be a formidable opponent for a lot of teams this year. Going over to the Vikings and the Buccaneers, I had Vikings taking this game. I really did, but Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers wanted it more. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. There was no lights out for Kirk Cousins, so I don't see why he ended up losing that game, but it is what it is. So the Buccaneers take that game. Then we had the Panthers and the Falcons. See, I was very hesitant on this game when I took my guess. I said Falcons at first, but people was like, nah, the Panthers are going to take it. And I started listening to everybody. I should always follow my first mind, never listen to nobody. So with that being said, the Falcons ends up taking that game. I think that, I don't know. I think Bryce Young looked a little, he was seeing too much. I don't know. I watched the highlights for that game. It wasn't like he was comfortable yet in the pocket, and that it collapses on him. It really does. So kudos to the Falcons for coming out trying to win that game and winning that game. I think Bijan Robinson had a really great showing. Kyle Pitts coming alive a little bit. So with that being said, going on to the Commanders and the Cardinals. Guess this one right myself, Commanders and Cardinals. Although the Commanders didn't look like they wanted to win, the Cardinals came out trying to win that game. With that being said, I think the Cardinals might not be tanking. I don't know. Like, the Cardinals might actually be trying to win something with who they got. Who knows? But the Commanders comes out with the win, so yay me on that one. The next game I guessed correctly was the Jaguars and the Colts. Really great showing from Anthony Richardson. I think he looked better than both of his rookie counterparts. He's the best of the rookie quarterback class as of week 1 to me, for what I've seen. So I think the Colts are really going to be – they're going to be a good team. They're going to be not like a great team, but they're going to be good. They're not going to be you know, they held the Jaguars down for a little bit, but Trevor Lawrence was able to, do what he has to do. Calvin really looked really good, so can't wait to see what the Jaguars does going forward. But the Colts loses to the Jaguars. Going over to the 49ers Steelers, everyone was talking about the Steelers, overhyping them for the season. Like I said before, the Steelers are not a playoff contending team. They're just a winning team. They're going to win games they're going to win the games that they need to keep Mike Tomlin a job. But as far as that, the 49ers defense, Brock Purdy looking like an all-star, Christian McCaffrey back in form. The 49ers is going to be a very tough team this season if everyone can stay healthy. The Titans and the Saints, it was a little underwhelming, I can say the least, for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill didn't look good. Derrick Henry didn't look good. I don't think we heard anything out of D-Hop. So I don't know. The Titans are just not, to me, not good. They're not good within that division at all. I don't know. I don't see anything out of that. The Bills, not the Bills. Sorry, apologize. The Saints though, they look decent. They could have been a little bit better, but I think after this week, we're going to see the Saints take on into a better role. Then we have the Broncos and the Raiders. I could have swore the Broncos were going to take this game, but the Raiders pulled it out. Jimmy G played an almost perfect game, and the Raiders wanted it more. The Raiders really came out there and wanted it more. After seeing the Broncos, they're going to have to get it together. I understand it's week one, but week one, the first 5 weeks of the season is a very crucial, critical thing for teams to really get down their teams pat, figure it out, and figure out where they want to go from there. Once you figure that out, then you know, like, okay, this is the team, this is the playoff run, the Super Bowl run, whatever. The Broncos aren't looking like a playoff contending team. They did not look good in that game at all. So with that being said, they're going to have to come out and do a little bit better, especially under Sean Payton. Going over to the Eagles and the Patriots game, I really enjoyed this game. This game was great because the Patriots figured it out in that second half. Mac Jones came alive, throwing 3 touchdown passes. Last year, we would not have said Mac Jones and 3 touchdown passes in the same sentence, probably. This year, we are. Jalen Hurts looked a little uncomfortable. He didn't get the runs he wanted to get. He wasn't getting the throws he wanted to get. The Patriots are dangerous. They might be the dangerous team in that division, and people need to be on notice about the Patriots. Bill Belichick is tired of all the talk. He coming back. Mac Jones is tired of all the time. He coming back. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Patriots do. Not really a big Patriots fan, not a fan of Bill Belichick, but I'm willing to see what they're going to do. The Eagles, they did not look like they were just in the Super Bowl a couple months ago. They look like a mediocre team who's just trying to get it together. I understand week one woos, but still we need to see something out of, we need to see a lot more. We need to see a lot more out of it. Going over to the Seahawks and the Rams, I had the Seahawks winning this game when I did my predictions. Did not see the Rams coming out and blowing them out. I did not see that coming. Matthew Stafford over there looking like he's a Super Bowl ready quarterback type thing. I don't know. Like I legit do not know how the Seahawks came out in form and thought that was going to be okay. I really did not. So. Then I think one of the best games of the week one was the Dolphins and the Chargers coming down to the wire. Tua playing like an MVP quarterback, 400 and something yards. Tyreek Hill with 215 yards. It was a great game. Like, this game had everything. But I think after watching that game, I think everyone's coming after that head coach for the Chargers. So he needs to be on high alert for his job. Going over to the Packers and Bears, again, another game that I predicted that the Packers would win, and I was right, but I didn't see Jordan Love being the top quarterback out of that. I didn't see Jordan Love. I thought there was going to be like a landslide victory. This is what happens when you allow quarterbacks to not play their rookie year, but put them under a veteran who knows what they're doing. Jordan Love is with the Packers, and Jordan Love might actually be enough for the Packers to get into the playoffs. A lot of people are counting them out. I'm counting them out right now till week 5. But right now, as of that, the Packers were looking very good. The Cowboys and Giants, I have a lot to say about that, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But the Cowboys blew out the Giants 40-0. I knew the Cowboys would win, but I didn't know they would win in that fashion. Then our last game, our Monday night game, which was, to me, one of the best games, the other best game. So there's 2 of them, the Chargers and the Dolphins. But the Jets and the Bills game came down to overtime. I think it was the only game that had to come down to overtime, I do believe. But with that being said, the Jets pulled out a victory without Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to get into that in a little later. We're going to talk about that in a little later, but that game was great. I feel like, my prediction on that was spot on. I knew if Josh Allen threw those picks through, anything like that, I knew that the Jets had a chance of winning. A lot of people gave up on them within the first half. I didn't. I stayed with it, and I'm rewarded. So, out of my predictions for week 1, out of the 16 games I were played, I got 10 of them correct. So I think that warrants that I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at being an analyst and everything like that. So with that being said, we're going to jump into a couple of stats lines that I wanted to talk about that I saw that were really great. I want to talk about some of these stats. Like Jared Goff was 22 for 35, 253 yards, and a passing touchdown. Jared Goff is going to be okay. He's going to be good. The Lions have a quarterback that could lead them to a playoff berth, and we should watch out for it. Patrick Mahomes, 21 for 39, 226 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Not like Patrick Mahomes. Usually week 1s, usually September's his month, but the Lions came out and they played their butts off, and this is the outcome. Now that 1 interception for Patrick Mahomes, I have to say, shouldn't be his fault. That did bounce off the hands of Kadarius Toney, but for pick 6, but it is what it is. Now, this is the stat line I wanted to talk about. Joe Burrow was 14 of 31 for only 82 yards. If you divide that into 4, if you divide that by 4, 4 quarters by 82, 4 and 8 is 2, you're looking at 21 yards per quarter, if you want to break it down by average. He got benched towards the end of the game, which I think he should have got benched by 3rd quarter if he wasn't feeling it. I didn't like that. I really did not like the fact that he went out there and did that. I didn't like the fact that Joe Burrow gets all this hype and everything like that and only throws for 82 yards in the week 1 game. That's unacceptable for a quarterback of his caliber and with a receiving core that he has. To me, that's unacceptable. You can't give me an excuse for that. If he's injured, sit him. If he's out there playing, then he needs to play like that. Yes, the Browns' defense was good, but again, I heard the saying, a lot of teams out there got good defenses. It's his job to maneuver those defenses. It's also the receiver's jobs to get separation. But 82 yards is unacceptable as the stat line goes. Deshaun Watson was 16 of 29, 154 yards, 1 interception, 1 throwing touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown. Deshaun Watson is playing like he's back on the Texans. He's playing pretty good. Hopefully he can keep it up. Hopefully he can stay injury-free. And maybe the Browns could do something. Well, we don't know yet. C.J. Stroud was 28 for 44, 242 yards. Bryce Young was 20 for 38, 146 yards, 2 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. So those 2 quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud obviously had the better day yardage-wise. Bryce Young got the touchdown, but I think that they're gonna those 2 teams, the Texans and the Panthers, respectively. They're making this to where it's like, hey, we need you guys to be good now. And I don't think there's a lot of pressure on that. I don't think that's fair to a rookie quarterback like that, but this is the expectation. It's the NFL. It is what it is. So, that number, as far as like CJ Stroud, he had a good showing. He just needs to convert those to touchdowns, and he'll be okay. Bryce Young, same thing. Convert to touchdowns, he'll be okay. More touchdowns than interceptions is always good. Trevor Lawrence was 24 for 32, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. It's Trevor Lawrence. It's the Goldilocks. I think he'll be okay. Anthony Richardson is 24 for 37, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. Anthony Richardson had a pretty good day, all things considered. The Colts haven't had a good day in a while, so with Anthony Richardson having that type of day, they'll be okay. Brock Purdy, 19 for 29, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries for 152 yards with 1 touchdown. Man, those guys are going to be great. The San Francisco 49ers is going to be phenomenal, and we need to watch out. I think that their high-powered defense plus their high-powered offense is definitely going to be something to look forward to in the playoff time when it comes to it, as long as everyone stays healthy. Let's go over to Jimmy G. Jimmy G was damn near perfect. 20 for 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, 27 for 34, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Sure, Russell Wilson didn't have any interceptions, lesser yards though, but looking at the highlights, it's kind of like some of those passes were more his fault than it was the receivers. So I don't know on that part. Jalen Hurts, 22 for 33, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown. Mac Jones, 35 for 54, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Like I said, Mac Jones he looked like a top-tier quarterback. He might move up in his quarterback rankings. I don't know. Then we had Tua. Tua was 28 for 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Tua's playing like an MVP quarterback. If Tua would have stayed healthy for the Dolphins last year, and I think it goes for it for this year, if Tua is able to stay healthy, he's winning MVP and might lead the Dolphins to a good place in the playoffs. As long as he stays healthy, I wholeheartedly believe it. We had Raheem Mostert with 10 carries, 37 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love, 15 for 27, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Some of these guys out here are phenomenal. Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, Tua. Phenomenal job to those guys. They look good. Week 1 for those guys were pretty good weeks, so hopefully that could transition into this week in week 2. So moving on to our next topic, we're going to talk about the woos and the woes of Sunday night and Monday night. The Giants. Let's talk about the Giants. So here's the statistic for the Giants. No teams has ever lost 40-0. Lost the sack battle 7-0, lost the turnover battle 3-0, a blocked field goal for a touchdown, and a pick 6 for a touchdown in the same season. And the Giants did it in one night. How do you hit that statistical pillar, the statistical pyramid, in one night that no team has ever done in a season? You went and overpaid Daniel Jones $40 million a year because he had one good year. And that's the situation you get right there. That's exactly what you get. You also refused to play Saquon Barkley, which, the way he played last night, or the way he played on Sunday night, I can understand it. The stat line for it is that there's no way that you just come back from a playoff. There's no way that you are a playoff team that just came back from a playoff. As a playoff team, you paid Daniel Jones too much money, and this is the showing you have in week 1. Will you guys bounce back? That's the question for Giants. Are they going to bounce back? I don't know. I don't know if you can bounce back for something like that. It's going to take a second. It's definitely going to take a second. So, with that being said, the Giants need to figure it out, and they have to figure it out very quickly. Let's go over to Monday night's game. This is the one I've been excited to talk about. The Jets lost Aaron Rodgers in 4 snaps, 75 seconds into the game. Everyone lost their ish. Let's talk about it. The Bills were up 13-3 by halftime, I believe. The Jets defense proceeded to sack Josh Allen 5 times that game, pick Allen off 3 times that game, recover a fumble from Josh Allen, the Garrett Wilson touchdown that put them in the position to tie the game, to go into the lead of the game. The Breece Hall with 127 yards, and he's supposed to be injured. And then the overtime punt return for a touchdown by Xavier Gibson to put a cherry on top. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to say. I really don't know how to. I honestly don't know how I can be more clear about Josh Allen as a quarterback. Josh Allen is a overrated quarterback. The comparisons that he has, when people put him in their top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, what are you talking about? Josh Allen, the interceptions is going to kill you. If you're a Bills fan, if you're the Bills, here's my prediction for that. If Josh Allen throws 2 or more picks in a game, or has 2 or more turnovers in a game, the Bills have a 75% chance of losing that game. I guarantee it. Depending on who they're playing. I guarantee you. Josh Allen is not a good quarterback. He's mediocre. The only thing that's made him good is Stephon Diggs and the receiving core. That's the only thing that's made him good. He's 0-5 in overtime games. But this is the guy you want to put on the pedestal above Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable to me. That's the stat line for that. That's the stat line right there. Josh Allen is not a good quarterback. He's mediocre at best. Until Josh Allen can prove that he's not going to throw an interception to lose a game, he should not be considered a good quarterback. He's mediocre at best. Going into the news for the NFL, we got some NFL news that I wanted to talk about too. You know, Aaron Rodgers is out for the season with an Achilles torn. I think a lot of people say he's going to make a comeback and all that good stuff. I don't know, man. I think after an Achilles injury, you're 39. I just think you kind of hang up the cleats now. It is what it is. You already got paid. The Jets already guaranteed you some money. You kind of got to go now. It is what it is. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers go back out there and get hurt again and then have a lifelong suffering injury throughout the rest of his life because he's trying to go out there and prove something. I think that this is a wake-up call. We already saw a couple other players lose to the Achilles tendon. And a lot of players that has an Achilles tendon don't really come back the same. I don't know. I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I feel bad for the Jets. Hopefully the Jets can maintain this momentum and do what they got to do. But it's Zach Wilson. It's Zach Wilson's show now. So it's time for him to step up, show us what he's learned under the mentorship of Aaron Rodgers. And hell, the Jets might be able to do what I predicted they would do and be for number 1 in the playoffs for the playoff run. But we'll see. Josh Allen, not Josh Allen, Joe Burrow crashes. It wasn't no news. I mean, I've already stated the obvious. 82 yards is unacceptable, but one of the biggest highlights of the game that I saw, yeah, there's a reason why we didn't re-sign Orlando Brown Jr. There's a reason. If you look at that game, most of his pressures were coming from that left side. He was getting bullied, man. And if Joe Burrow has to run for his life, he's not going to be successful. Yes, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd can get open, but it's going to be, can Joe Burrow make something out of nothing like Patrick Mahomes? That's going to be the overall statement. It is what it is, but this is what you have to look at. You have to look at it from that perspective. Can Joe Burrow do something spectacular? Josh Allen, overrated. I've already stated the obvious. Like I said, if Josh Allen throws 2 or more picks in a game, consider that a 75% chance that the Bills will lose. I still feel like Stephon Diggs, yes, he was trying to hype up Josh Allen on Monday night or whatever. I still wholeheartedly believe that Stephon Diggs is leaving this season. If the Bills do not do anything, if the Bills go to the playoffs and lose, consider that the end of Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. Consider it the end. Chris Jones is coming back. So with that being said, Chris Jones and Travis Kelce will be back in week 2 against the Jaguars. What that means for the Chiefs is that, you're going to have your number 1 playmaker on defense and your number 1 playmaker on offense with Patrick Mahomes. That's exactly what it means. That means that now is going to be it's not going to be the same as what it was in week 1. Did we need Chris Jones? Not really. I think the defense would have been okay without him. But do I feel more comfortable, more secure in the position for the Chiefs with Chris Jones? Yeah, I kind of do. Until we find a Chris Jones replacement, Chris Jones is the guy right now. They got the deal done. Not a long-term deal, just a deal long enough to get him some more money for the remaining year of this year. Then we'll re-talk negotiations next year if he decides to stay or if he wants to go to free agency. Whatever. If we get one more Super Bowl ring with Chris Jones, by all means, let's go. Tua MVP, yes, I wholeheartedly, I will endorse that. I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, but I will endorse that if Tua stays healthy, Tua wins the MVP this year. He's good. Everyone wants to say that Tua is bad and everything like that, but Tua goes out there, when he is playing, he shows that he's a leader. He shows that he's good. He shows that he's the same caliber as Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes. He shows it. He shows he's that guy. You don't just go out there and throw 466 yards for no reason. You do it because you're trying to win a game and prove that, like he said, keep his name out your mouth if you don't know what's going on. I pray that Tua does not get injured. And I think the Dolphins are going to be a very dangerous team in that division. Right now, from what I've saw, the top 3 defenses in the league, from what I've saw throughout the weekend, goes San Francisco. Now, you know what? I'm sorry. I have to give it to them. It goes Cowboys, number 1, number 2, San Francisco, and number 3, the Jets. Those are the top 3 defenses in the league right now. I think, with that being said, we have to really, really look at we really have to look at those teams and be like, oh man, those defenses are really good. And they are. Those defenses are great. So that's all I got for that news. We're going to move into the college football scores from week 2, I believe. Yeah, week 2 football. We got number 7, Penn State, killing Delaware 63-7. Number 9, Notre Dame 45. NC State 24. Number 12, Utah 20. Baylor 13. Troy losing 13 to K-State 42. Ranked 15, by the way, K-State. Good job. Nebraska 14. Number 18, Colorado. Oh my gosh, Deion Sanders is doing something with that program. They've jumped four whole, whatever you call it, rankings. They jumped 4 rankings from 22 to 18. Oh man, it's I didn't have a college football team, but I'm sorry, I'll bandwagon for Colorado. I'll go and do that. I'll bandwagon for them because they're doing something that a lot of college coaches can't say they do. Let's see. You got Ohio State beating Youngstown. You got Georgia beating Ball State. Iowa beating Iowa State. Mississippi beating Tulane. You got Michigan beating UNVL. Texas A&M losing to Miami. You got Tulsa losing to Washington. You got Tennessee beating Austin Peay. You got App State losing to UNC. Lafayette losing to Duke. You got, SMU. SMU losing to Oklahoma. You got Oregon beating Texas Tech. You got Texas beating Alabama. I think the Nick Saban era is over. I think the Nick Saban era is coming to a close. I think we're seeing Nick Saban, his methods, the way he does business, all of it collapsing on him. I think we're going to be not talking about Alabama pretty soon in the next year or two. I don't think we're going to hear from Alabama until they rebuild again. I don't know, but I don't think Alabama is those guys no more. Then you got LSU beating Grambling. You got UCLA beating San Diego State. You got Washington State beating Wisconsin. You got Florida State beating Southern Miss. You got Oregon State beating UC Davis. And then you got USC beating Stanford. Great college games. These are some great college games. I'm watching them now because I need to see who's going to be on the next NFL stars. You got to watch the college games, man. They are intense. Love my Saturdays. Love them. We're going to move over to the NBA news that I've heard. That there's a lot of rumors swirling around and stuff like that. LeBron James cannot handle the fact that Dylan Brooks led Canada past USA in the FIBA World Cup. I can't handle that fact. I didn't even know Dylan Brooks was Canadian. Let's start there. So the fact that he dropped 39 points on Team USA after talking all of that stuff last year. Come on, Team USA. You cannot let Dylan Brooks do y'all like that. So, this is the rumor mill going around. The rumor going around is that Team USA, LeBron James, is planning on participating in the Team USA Olympic team. This is the potential lineup. The potential lineup for Team USA for Olympic 2024 as follows is Stephen Curry, Devin Booker, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis as the starters. Coming off the bench is Damian Lillard, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy B, Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo, Aaron Gordon, and Paul George. If this team does not win a gold medal in the Olympics, we shouldn't even go no more. We should not go no more because the only reason this team is being assembled is because people are saying, well, the NBA champions can't crown themselves as the best team in the world, only in the United States, that argument, whatever. So now, this is going to be the team that everyone has to beat. This is the team that's going to be in the Olympics next year, potentially. If they cannot bring home the gold next year, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I do not genuinely know what to say. You're not telling me that Stephen Curry is not throwing 30 up. You're not telling me that top five. They should be blowing out their teams by 60. With all this talent, 60 points should be. They should have 60 points in the first half. How about that? 60 points first half. I don't know. This is the Team USA news, the NBA news. This is what we got. They should be blowing out that team by 60. All right. So moving into our last subject for the day, we're going to talk about the Week 2 predictions. So my predictions, like I said, I was 10-16 for Week 1. Let's see how many of these I could get right this week. For Thursday night, for tomorrow's game, we got the Vikings and the Eagles. I think the Eagles come out and have a better showing against the Vikings. I wholeheartedly think Jalen Hurts will have a better game. The Jaguars and the Chiefs. Chiefs, especially with Travis Kelce back, Chris Jones back. I see Patrick Mahomes throwing 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, maybe. Just a little speckle in there. Maybe Isaiah Pacheco goes for 100 yards or whatever. But trust and believe me when I tell you, the Chiefs are coming back with a vengeance. It is what it is on that part. I got the Bengals and the Ravens. The Bengals getting 2 conference games back-to-back weeks is crazy to me. But I got the Bengals coming back in fashion. I think Joe Burrow steps it up, shows us why he's one of the top-paid quarterbacks now. I got the Lions and the Seahawks. After watching the Lions play and the Seahawks play, I got to give it to the Lions. I think the Lions will go 2-0. It is. I got that. I have to have that faith in Jared Goff. We got the Colts and the Texans, another division game. And honestly, I got the Colts. I think Anthony Richardson going to win that game. I really do. I think Anthony Richardson going to lead the Colts to a win. We got the Bucks and the Bears. Buccaneers. Who believes in the Bears anymore? Come on. Sorry, Chicago, but it is what it is. Packers and Falcons. I believe in Jordan Love. I got Packers. I got Packers winning against the Falcons. I believe in Jordan Love. Let's see what they can do. We got the Bills and the Raiders. I got the Bills winning. I don't like Josh Allen, but I got the Bills winning because there's no way that Josh Allen gets beat by the Raiders. There's just no way. There's no way. Then we got the Chargers and Titans. I got the Chargers. Justin Herbert is coming back for redemption. He's going to show that, okay, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm not a choker. I'm not Matt Ryan. That's what he's trying to show. 49ers and Rams. The Rams had a great game in week 1, but the 49ers had a better game, and that's what the 49ers are winning that game wholeheartedly. We got the Giants and the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals beats the Giants. I don't think there's redemption for the Giants right now. There is no redemption for them. I don't think the Giants have what it takes to beat the Cardinals. The Jets and the Cowboys. It took me a minute to do this. I promise you, when I did that, I stopped before I looked at any other games and sat there and looked at it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes straight, I waited for my answer to just hit me. I picked the Cowboys, but I think the defense for the Jets are going to give the Cowboys a run for their money. Dak Prescott didn't have to really do much for week 1, which is why his fantasy league scores were down. But that defense is going to make him and Tony Pollard really step up their game because Quentin Williams, John Franklin Myers, all of them are coming. I really like that defense. That defense, we got the number 1 and the number 3 defense going head to head. So, hey, let's get it done. We got the Commanders and the Broncos. There's no let's ride there's no let's Broncos, let's ride. I think Commanders are going to pull that out. I think they're going to come back and play a better game, but I think Broncos are going to lose to the Commanders. We got the Patriots and the Dolphins. Another division game that was hard for me to kind of I don't know. And I gave it to the Dolphins. I really did. I think Tua, as much as I like Mac Jones, I think Tua is the better quarterback, and they have the better receiving core. So Dolphins is taking that game. Then we have the Panthers and the Saints. I give it to the Panthers. I wholeheartedly believe that the Panthers are going to come out and win that game. I really do. It's just something in me that's saying the Panthers are going to win that game. They're not going to just drop. And as much as I like Derek Carr with the Saints, I think the Panthers are going to come out and win that game. I really do. And then we got the last game, the Browns and the Steelers, another division game. I got the Browns. I really do. I think the Browns defense is going to nullify the Steelers. If Deshaun Watson plays up to his strengths and throws the ball, hands off the ball to Nick Chubb, give it to Amari Cooper, and whatever he needs to do, I think the Browns have a pretty good chance. And that's my week 2 prediction. So, well, today has been a very fun-filled show for me. I've enjoyed talking my stuff, talking about the last week of football. I'm glad it's back. Soon the NBA is going to be back, so we'll be talking about those things. Next week we'll have week 2. We'll have the week 2 recap, and then we'll also be talking about the Mount Rushmore of the NBA starting in 2000. The reason why we're doing that is because we need to start talking about generational basketball, as in like the different eras of basketball. And I want to speak about the era that I grew up on because I can't speak on the past eras. Yes, people older than me can say, "Oh, Michael Jordan's better," blah blah blah. I have to speak on the era of basketball that I grew up in. So next week we're going to have our Mount Rushmore of basketball. And on top of that, we are going to talk about the Mount Rushmore bench of basketball. So all top five starting lineup, and then a bench. So I'm gonna give you guys a little task to do for next week. If you guys like basketball, love the NBA, I want you to create your top five. They have to be a point guard, a shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. I want your top five. So from one player from each of those positions, create your starting lineup, your all-time starting lineup starting from the year 2000. So, overtime, we are out of here because I'm out of time, and it's time for me to head out and go and get things done. Thank you guys for being supporters. I truly appreciate it. Please like, please share. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, YouTube. I'm everywhere. Overtime is coming to. We're not playing. We're not here to play. I'm here. As Patrick Mahomes says, I'm here. Also, next week, we'll probably have our new intro because I have not been having an intro for this. So hopefully we get a new intro in and get that going too. But guys, stay safe. Let's keep watching these sports. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.